Hello, sweetheart. Let me ask you something right now, and I want you to be honest with yourself because nobody else is watching. Well, somebody is watching, you are watching, and that is enough. Happy. Are you tired? Are you bone deep, soul level, wake up in the middle of the night staring at the ceiling, kind of tired of struggling with money? Are you tired of working hard, doing your best, praying your prayers, speaking your affirmations into the bathroom mirror like a person who has completely lost the plot, and still finding yourself at the end of the month counting coins and hoping nobody notices? Because if that is you, I need you to stay right here with me today, because what I'm about to share with you is going to shift something inside of you. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. In the next 20 minutes, something is going to move in your understanding, and once it moves, it cannot go back. Now I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, here we go, another person on the internet about to tell me to think positive thoughts and the money will fall from the sky. And I hear you, I do, because I have been in rooms where people told me that, and I smiled politely while internally screaming. But that is not what we are doing today. What we are doing today is something far more interesting, far more practical, and honestly, far more fun. We are talking about energy. We are talking about vibration. And we are talking about the very specific, very real, very powerful frequency of abundance that either you are living in or you are locked out of, and the door is closer than you think. So let us start at the very beginning, because every good story starts there. And this is your story, not mine, yours. You were not born broke. I need you to hear that. You were not born with a poverty sentence stamped on your soul. You came into this world as pure potential, as a being of infinite possibility, and somewhere along the way, somebody, a parent, a teacher, a neighbor, a financial crisis, a bad relationship, a series of unfortunate circumstances handed you a story about money. And you did what any reasonable person would do. You believed it. Because why would you not? It came from people you trusted. It came from your lived experience. It felt real. It felt true. And it became the invisible operating system, running beneath every financial decision you have ever made. And here is the part nobody talks about, because it makes people a little uncomfortable. That story, that invisible operating system, it has a vibration. It has a frequency. And money, which is energy, just like everything else in this universe, responds to frequency. So if your inner story is broadcasting the signal of scarcity, of not enough, of money is hard, money is dirty, rich people are greedy, I never have enough, things never work out for me, guess what frequency you are transmitting into the field of life? You are transmitting a big, loud, very convincing signal that says, keep abundance away from me, please. And the universe, bless its obedient heart, is complying magnificently. Now, I want to stop here for a moment and acknowledge something, because I do not want to be the person who makes you feel bad for struggling. That is not what this is. If you have been working hard and the money has not been coming, that is real. The stress is real. The bills are real. The exhaustion is real. I am not standing here in some ivory tower telling you that your problems are imaginary. They are not. What I am telling you is that there is a layer beneath the visible circumstances, a layer that most people never examine, and that layer is where the real work happens. And that is the layer we are going into today. Let me give you a little science here, because I think your beautiful, logical brain deserves it. Everything in the universe is made of energy. Your body, the chair you are sitting in, the phone or computer you are looking at, the money in someone else's bank account. All of it is energy vibrating at different frequencies. This is not mystical nonsense. This is quantum physics. Scientists have been telling us this for over a century. At the subatomic level, particles are not solid things. They are patterns of energy, probability waves, vibrating fields. And here is the extraordinary part. These particles respond to observation. They respond to consciousness. They respond to the field of awareness that is brought to them. Now, what does that mean for your bank account? It means that you are not a passive observer of your financial life. You are an active participant in the creation of it. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your dominant emotional state, your habitual inner conversations, all of these are generating a frequency, a vibration, and that vibration is interacting with the energy field of the universe and drawing to you experiences that match it. Like a radio tower broadcasting a signal and only picking up stations on the same frequency. You cannot tune to a station you are not broadcasting. And right now I want you to genuinely sit with that for a moment, because this is not a small thing. This is enormous. So here is the first big truth I want you to land in your heart today. Abundance is not something you chase. It is something you become. You do not go after money like it is a frightened rabbit you are trying to corner. You become the version of yourself that money is naturally attracted to. You shift your inner frequency, and you let the outer world rearrange itself accordingly. And I know that sounds almost too simple, but the simplest truths are always the most profound, are they not? We are so trained to believe that success must be complicated, must be painful, must require sacrifice and suffering and hustle culture and grinding yourself into dust, that when someone tells us the real key is an inner shift, we almost laugh. Almost. But then something in us, something very quiet and very wise, says, wait, what if that is true? And I want to tell you, from everything I have observed about human beings and their relationship with prosperity, it is true. The people who have abundance in their lives are not necessarily smarter than you. They are not necessarily more talented than you. They are not necessarily working harder than you. What they have is a different relationship with the idea of abundance. They expect it. They feel worthy of it. They do not spend their mental energy pushing it away while simultaneously wondering why it is not arriving. Their inner frequency and their outer desire are aligned. And that alignment, that is the secret. Now let us get into the practical part, because I can practically hear some of you saying, okay, but what do I actually do? Because affirmations in the mirror are not paying my rent. Fair. Completely fair. Let us talk about that. The first thing you need to do, and this is non-negotiable, is audit your inner conversation about money. Not the things you say out loud at dinner parties. The things you say to yourself at 2 a.m. when the anxiety creeps in. What are those thoughts? What are the phrases that loop on repeat in your mind when you look at your bank statement? Because those phrases, those automatic thoughts, those are your current frequency. And you cannot change a frequency you refuse to acknowledge. So we start with honesty. Beautiful, courageous, occasionally uncomfortable honesty. Sit down, get a piece of paper, and write down every negative, limiting, contracted thought you have ever had about money. Every single one. Money is hard to get. I am not good with money. Money does not grow on trees. I am just not the kind of person who is financially successful. Rich people are selfish. I feel guilty wanting more. I am afraid that if I have money, I will lose my friends. I do not deserve abundance. Write them all down, every ugly one, and then look at that list and say out loud, these are the stories I have been telling. These are the frequencies I have been broadcasting, and they are not the truth of who I am. They are inherited programs, and programs can be updated. This is what I love so much about human beings. You are not computers that someone else built, and you cannot touch the code of. You are the programmer. You always have been. You just maybe did not know it, but now you do. And knowing is the beginning of everything. The second thing I want you to do is start building what I call an abundance memory bank. Here is how it works. Your mind, bless it, has a very strong bias toward remembering the negative. This is actually an evolutionary feature, not a flaw. Your brain kept you alive by remembering threats, but it is wildly unhelpful when it comes to building an abundance consciousness, because your brain is constantly curating evidence for your existing beliefs. If you believe money is scarce, your brain will brilliantly, efficiently, helpfully point out every piece of evidence that confirms that belief and conveniently ignore all the evidence to the contrary. So we are going to deliberately counter that bias. Every single day, Morning and evening, I want you to recall 3 instances where abundance showed up in your life. And I want you to start small, because some of you right now are thinking, I have no evidence of abundance in my life. And I am going to gently but firmly call that out as the scarcity story talking. Because if you have eaten a meal today, if someone smiled at you, if you watched a sunset for free, if you have a friend who would help you, if you asked if your body breathed air into your lungs without you having to think about it, you are swimming in abundance. Abundance is not just money. Money is one expression of the energy of abundance. But the energy itself shows up everywhere, all the time, always. When you begin to train yourself to notice abundance in every form, something remarkable happens. Your brain, which is wired to seek evidence for your dominant beliefs, begins to find evidence for this new belief, that I live in an abundant universe, that good things flow to me, that there is more than enough. And as that belief strengthens, the frequency you broadcast strengthens. And the frequency you broadcast determines what you attract into your experience. This is not wishful thinking. This is deliberate, energetic alignment. The third thing I want to address is the energy you bring to the spending and receiving of money. Because a lot of people are unconsciously pushing money away, not just with their thoughts, but with their actions and emotional states around financial transactions. Let me paint you a picture. Have you ever paid a bill with a feeling of dread and resentment? Of course you have. We all have. But here is what you may not have considered. When you pay that bill with dread and resentment, you are sending money out of your life on a frequency of pain. And you are essentially signaling to the universe that money means pain, that the movement of money is associated with suffering. And so the universe, in its infinite helpfulness, makes sure you have plenty of opportunities to practice that feeling, which generally involves more bills and more dread. What if instead you paid your bills with a feeling of gratitude? I know. I hear you groaning. Stay with me. What if you genuinely shifted your perspective and said, I am so grateful that I have electricity in my home. I am grateful that someone delivered this service to me, and I get to participate in the flow of abundance by paying for it. I am grateful that money moves through my life, and as it moves out, it creates space for more to flow in. The energy of money is meant to flow. A river that does not flow becomes stagnant. Money that you cling to in fear becomes energetically stuck. Money that you release with gratitude and the expectation of replenishment flows freely, and freely flowing money tends to flow back to you. Now, I want to talk about something that I think is one of the most overlooked pieces of the abundance puzzle, and that is your relationship with receiving. Because so many of you are wonderful, generous, giving people who have absolutely no idea how to receive. Someone gives you a compliment and you immediately deflect. Someone offers to help you and you immediately say, "Oh no, I am fine, thank you." Someone tries to bless you with something and you look for a reason why it does not count or does not fit or why you should not accept it. And you think this is humility. It is not. It is the energetic equivalent of slamming the door in the face of abundance every time it comes to visit. The universe is always trying to give to you, through people, through opportunities, through unexpected sources, through the creativity of channels you cannot even anticipate. But if you have a deep belief that you do not deserve it, or that accepting help is weakness, or that nothing good comes for free, or that there must be a catch, you will find ways to block every channel through which abundance tries to reach you. And then you will look at your life and wonder why nothing works out for you, not realizing that you are the one at the door turning away the deliveries. So here is your practice for receiving. When someone gives you something, anything, a compliment, a gift, a helping hand, an unexpected opportunity, I want you to pause, breathe, look them in the eye and say thank you. Just thank you. Not thank you, but not thank you. I do not deserve this. Not thank you. Let me find a way to repay you immediately because I am uncomfortable with this. Just thank you. And feel it. Feel the receiving. Let it land. Let it be real. Because every time you allow yourself to receive gracefully, you are telling the universe, yes, I am open. Yes, I am ready. Yes, abundance is welcome here. Now let us talk about the words you use. Because your words are not just sounds. Your words are declarations. They are creative forces. They go out into the field of your life and they build the house you live in. And I want to challenge you right now to listen to how you talk about money for the next 24 hours. Really listen. Because most people are making declarations about poverty and scarcity all day long without even realizing it. I cannot afford that. Money goes out faster than it comes in. I am always broke. Things are so